Watch this video so you can learn how to save up an emergency fund. If you find yourself constantly resorting to a credit card if an emergency comes up, or maybe you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, by the end of this video, you're gonna have 5 tips to help you save up an emergency fund super fast. For easy to implement financial guidance, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you know when I post a new video every Wednesday. Step number 1 is going to be to figure out how much you are likely to need in the event of an emergency. I'm talking most likely to happen emergency, not end of the world catastrophes. So maybe your tires are likely to go out at some point over the next year or two. Maybe you've got some other things that just come up. These are the things that tend to send people running to a credit card to cover a few $100 from time to time, and that just adds up, and all of a sudden you're in all this credit card debt and you're having a hard time getting ahead. In order to break this cycle, we've got to save up a little cushion so that you can pull from that in these like real life emergencies, and later after you pay off debt, then you can focus on saving up a larger emergency fund. But first, let's just start out with saving up a small just in case emergency fund. For this, I like to look at my deductibles and see how much those are. If you have a $500 car deductible or maybe $1,000, that's how much you need to have in the event that you get in an accident and you need to cover that money right away. So if your deductible is $500, I would make it a priority to save up $500. Step number 2 is to write out your expenses. You need to know exactly where your money is going and how much you can shave off of that so that you could put this money towards your emergency fund. List out your bills in order of priority. You have to pay your rent, you have to eat, you have to pay your car payment. List those out just so you have the starting point of how much you can just pull from what you currently make. And you're gonna set this money into a separate savings account and write it down as a bill. So if you have an extra $100 after all of your bills are paid, write down $100 as an actual bill, and next time you get your paycheck, you can put that money into savings. Now, along these lines, when you write down all your bills, don't be afraid of making big changes. As you see all your bills here, if you realize you're spending a ton of money in a certain area, don't be afraid to make a massive change in your life so that you can direct that money into an emergency fund. And remember that this is temporary. You're not changing your life forever. You're just making some sacrifices for this short window of time so that you can break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck and feeling like you just can't get ahead. Temporarily take a time out from living your luxe life and direct that money into an emergency fund for you so that you actually have financial stability. Comment below with an expense that you're going to cut from your budget. I'd love to hear some of the sacrifices you're willing to make so that you can stack up some cash. Step number 3 is going to be to create a budget. Nobody really wants to do this, let's be honest, but it is key. You really need to create a spending plan for your money, and take a look at this video if you need some help with that, because I do break down how to create a budget that you can actually stick to. Step number 4 is to declutter your place and sell some of your stuff. You've got stuff all around you probably don't even realize that you can cash in for some money. Decluttering also helps you see how much stuff you already have, so that helps you to stop spending so much, because once you start kind of pulling everything out of the closets, it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff here, I don't need anything else. And that mentality helps you to just stop buying so much stuff and start putting that money in savings. eBay is a great place to sell your stuff. Facebook Marketplace, there's other apps that allow you to sell stuff really easily. We've sold the steamer that we bought for my wedding dress, the milk frother that came with our coffee machine that we weren't using. We just sell random stuff that we're like, we're not using this, how much can it go for? And it just adds up. Make sure when you do sell something, put that money into your savings account immediately and just act like you don't have it. Step number 5 is to consider downsizing and making some big changes in your life. Because if you're at a place where you're not able to save up some money, you have stretched your budget to the max. If you want to start to get ahead financially, it's going to really benefit you to take a look at your life, where you are now, and think, how did I get here? Sometimes we get to a place almost by accident. We follow this path and it just leads us down this road, and all of a sudden we're somewhere that's like not even where we intended to be. If this happens to you, just look at the things that you have in your life and ask yourself, do I really need this car? Do I really need to live in this place that I live in? And can I make some big changes? Can I get a roommate? Can I sell my car and get a cheaper car? All of the savings that you get from doing these things can be put into your emergency fund. Downsizing is going to allow you to quickly save, and it also reassesses your priorities. That way you can go in and get the things that you want more intentionally and create a life that you're actually happy with, so you're feeling a lot less stress. Now you know how to save up an emergency fund quickly. I've created a 5-step guide to help you get your financial life together. The link's below. Just drop your email and I'll send it over to you. Next week, I'll be sharing some insights I've learned from working with wealthy people over the past 8 years. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.